What is up, yellers, fellers, and product sellers? Thanks for sitting down at the Messy Desk with me this week. Today, you've read the title. I want to talk about 8 reasons to own the Octatrack in 2021, 8 reasons to buy the Octatrack in 2021. I don't know. I haven't settled on a title yet, depending on how clickbaity I want to be. But before we get into that, what I want to tell you about is 2 different things. One, this episode has a sponsor, and it's this shirt. This shirt that I stole from Perfect Circuit. Thank you, Perfect Circuit, for sponsoring this shirt. Additionally, I am now a part of their affiliate program. If you click on the links down there, you can buy stuff from them at no extra cost to you, and it gives me a little money. And you love giving me money, and I love you giving me money. So thank you to Perfect Circuit for allowing you to give me money, and you should thank them too. Full disclosure, I work for Perfect Circuit. I stand by them. Am I biased? Abso-fucking-lutely. Does it matter at all? That's up to you to judge. But you know what? If you need an Octatrack, if you need a Digitact, if you need any of the products that I do recommend buying, which are few and far between, it's right down there, and I demand that you click on it and give me money right this instant. That's done. The second thing is that my dear friend, Tobias Funke, his name's Toby, but I call him Tobias or Toblerone, just released a small little split project, a little 2-track EP for charity. It's called Ellipsis, and it's on Bandcamp, and I think we're going to put it on other streaming services. You can buy it for whatever amount of money you feel comfortable giving us, and that money, every single cent, will go to the Sims Foundation, which is focused on delivering care, be it mental or physical, and emotional care to musicians, producers, just people in the music community in general who have struggled with addiction or anything surrounding that kind of nebulous area. They're great people. If you don't want to give me money for any reason, which, why would you not want to give this guy money? You can just donate directly to them. I'll put the link down below. Highly recommend it. It'd be a super giga mega chad thing for you to do, so go out there and go do it. Okay, without further ado, let's talk about 8 reasons why the Octatrack is still worth owning in the year of our Lord, 2021.
Octadad, why would I want to buy this in 2021?
I'm going to tell you, you just sit right there. Here's the first reason, and it's going to be a surprise to nobody. It's the crossfader. Now, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know I'm just obsessed with this little slidey boy. I push it this way, I push it that way, I push it any which way, except not up and down because that would break it. Don't break the crossfader. And it's a really satisfying tactile experience. In the gear world, there's a lot of talk about tactile experience.
Oh, I spent $8,000 on this Buchla easel because I just can't use the plugin. It's the tactile experience.
This is the most tactile. This is the tactilest experience you can get. Making some subtle scene changes, making some crazy scene changes, pulling the crossfader back and forth. Oh, it just never gets old. It's what keeps bringing me back to this thing 4 years in, hundreds of hours, probably thousands at this point. And I still smile like a little giddy schoolboy every time I pull that thing back and forth. Mwah, magnifico. I love it. Number 2 is the ability to have a sort of complex mangling of audio right at your fingertips. And now listen, I know what you're thinking.
Octadad, you're just going to say the same stuff you just said about the crossfader.
But no, you're wrong. If you just shut your tiny weird mouth for a second, let me speak. I'll tell you what I really mean. Not just the crossfader, but the encoders. The fact that you can edit parts and reload them so quickly. The fact that you can turn those little encoders while you're resampling. Oh, it's great. It doesn't take much effort at all to get to a really crazy, weird space, or just get minor subtle differences that carry your track forward, give you new ideas, inspiring type shit. I love it. Is it a bit of a learning curve? Yeah. Guess what, dude? Everything on the Octatrack's a bit of a learning curve. If you have a problem with that, I suggest sticking a pacifier in your mouth and buying a Digitact. Affiliate link down below, and you can just move on from it, because if the Octatrack has a learning curve and that's a problem for you, it's just never going to be for you. And that's okay. You don't need this. You don't have to buy it. But if you're thinking about buying it, if you're horny for it, if you really want that back and forth, I'm going to tell you why I love it, and that's one of the reasons why, so let's keep going. Number 3. Number 3 is that it can handle long stereo samples. Now, listen, here at the Messy Desk, we hate numbers. We fear them because they make us feel inferior, we don't understand them, and so we reject their superiority. But rather than sit here and list big numbers about how much long, thick audio the Octatrack can take in its tight little inputs, sorry, I'm just going to tell you this. The samples it can take are long, really long. And if you try to put a sample in the Octatrack and it doesn't fit, it's not the Octatrack, man. You got to reflect. You got to do some Marie Kondo level pruning in your life because that is too much sparking of joy. The sampler's from 2012. Give it a fucking break. Take it easy. Maybe trim down the hour-long file of fucking field sample noise. And I promise you 56 minutes is certainly sufficient. So, really long stereo samples doesn't appeal to me, but hey, I'm a man of the people. I got to let them know. That's one of the reasons that you should love the Octatrack, why you should buy it. Okay, that's number 3. Now we're going to do number 4. And number 4 is something that didn't really matter to me as much as my studio expanded, but I think it does mean something to people, even if your studio is kind of large, which is that the Octatrack is versatile. It is a Swiss Army man, not like Daniel Radcliffe in that one really silly movie, but in the sense that it can be very many things. It can be a normal drum machine. It can be a fat Digitact. It can be a performance mixer. It can be a normal ass mixer. It can be an 8-track looper. It can be a live remixer. It can do all sorts of shit. And because of that, you're never going to look at the Octatrack sitting on your desk and say, what the fuck are you useful for? And that's great because when you look at a piece of gear and you feel that way, it's often kind of a death knell, at least for me. So when I look at a piece of gear and I always know exactly what I want to do with it, that is a really kind of hard standard of quality of how long it will last in my collection. And also, having been on the receiving end of that question, oh, it sucks, it hurts. Imagine how the machine feels. Oh, what the fuck are you useful for? I make videos, Dad. I make people laugh with my levity and wit, Dad. Why don't you make like one of those books you're always reading and leave, Dad? Did you get it? Because books are made of paper and paper's made of trees and make like a tree and leave. Don't worry about it. We'll just move on to whatever the next number is. This one, I think it's 4, has kind of a tangential relation to the last thing I just mentioned, which is that the Octatrack, much like its bratty younger brother that sucks up a lot of the attention, can also sequence MIDI 8 tracks of it, in fact. And not only can it sequence MIDI on 8 tracks, it has 3 LFOs per track and an arpeggiator that I hear is good. Can't confirm that. Tried using it, made my head hurt. I said, not for me. I'm scared of it and I don't like it. But for you, the smart individual who is going to really take the time to dig into the crunch of all that, oh, you're going to love it. So that rules, especially when you're trying to do like a live sampling setup, being able to MIDI sequence your gear and have that running in to your setup in a perfectly synced manner. And you have these LFOs that are changing CC parameters. CrossFitter can't do that. It's a big bummer, but we're just going to move right past that. It's great. It's fantastic. And I had to mention it. Let's just conclude by saying, look, the Digitact also sequences 8 tracks, doesn't have LFOs, doesn't have that arpeggiator. And at the bare minimum with the Octatrack, if you're already interested in it, you're also getting 8 tracks of the Elektron sequencer to all your external gear, which is the best sequencer you can buy on the market. So huge get there. Really important, really great. Let's keep it rocking. Now, for these last 3 reasons, I have to channel my more emotional side here, okay? Ben Shapiro stands need not apply because I'm not a fact and I do care about your feelings. And what I roughly mean by this is that these are not data-driven things. These are not things about how many tracks it has or yada yada. This is just things that I feel about the Octatrack. Obviously, the whole thing is subjective, but these are especially so. So let's talk about them. Number 5 is that they're not making a Mark III. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. I'm sure you're really super duper excited about it, but I promise you, within a reasonable doubt, it's not happening. I get asked this all the time.
Octadad, when are they making a Mark III? Octadad, I need a Mark III. Octadad, my kids are starving and I need to feed them something. They already ate my Mark II. What do I do, Dad?
They're probably not making a Mark III, man. So if you're interested in the Octatrack, if you feel strongly about it, if you see it across the dance floor, neon lights flashing, and you say, I could start a life with that, you should just buy one. Because they're probably not going to make a Mark III. The main designer is gone. Elektron is clearly shifting its focus away from kind of more obtuse design, more giant design, and kind of honing their craft a little bit, which is a good or bad. I don't know. It's a whole debate. But the fact of the matter is, they're probably not going to make a Mark III. It's just probably not going to happen. Now, do I hope they make a Mark III? Of course I do. That's a stupid question to ask me. But do I think they will? No, I don't. I don't think they will. So, if you're holding out to buy a Mark II because you're worried that they're going to insta-release a Mark III and your value's going to plummet, your stonks are going to go down, I would say just buy the Mark II, and also maybe stop treating gear like investments. It's not. They should just be things to make you happy and fun. But then again, I used to buy Magic cards, so take what I'm saying here with a hefty Salt Bay dash of skepticism. Number 6 is one of my favorite things about the Octatrack, which is that it constantly surprises you. I normally don't like being surprised. I hate being startled. And if you do it to me on purpose, our very new, budding, and not at all one-sided friendship will end unceremoniously. Don't startle me. No spooky, please. But the Octatrack surprises you in a great way because you're never quite sure what's going to happen when you turn some of these knobs. You're never quite sure how it's going to work out when you lock a parameter this way, or when you assign something to a crossfader and you move it. Obviously, like I've said before, this is subjective. Maybe you're not as easily impressed by bright flashing lights and loud noises as me. If audio going wibble wobble instead of wobble wibble doesn't really tickle you, maybe this won't resonate with you as much. But it really gets me, and it's my favorite thing. In the Beat from Scratch video that I did a while back, you can see multiple times me go, I don't know what this is going to do. And I do it, and then it's, whoa, that was an awesome little surprise. And when it surprises you, you can kind of tuck that in your old memory hole for later, and you can use it as like a trick over and over again. Love that. Really, really great. Mwah, would recommend. And finally, the last reason that I think you should buy the Octatrack, the last reason that it's stuck with me for years and will be in my studio for, as long as I'm alive, I think. I don't think I'll ever get rid of the Octatrack, and it's for this reason. It's a machine that grows with you. Now, does the Octatrack have an insane learning curve? I don't really think so. Nice misdirection, me. You love it when I subvert your expectations, don't you? Does it have an insane learning curve? I don't think so. Does it have a hefty learning curve? Pause for dramatic effect. Yeah, it does. And that's a lot to take on. But as we settled earlier, if that's a problem for you, you got to just move past it. You got to move past this device and go buy something else. The Octatrack is a great fit for you. Maybe. But if you're into that, if you're into the kind of commitment that the Octatrack asks of you, it is a machine that will reward you in spades. It will grow with you. It will change with you. And the really nice thing about it is for someone like me who likes to move kind of slowly between things, I used the Octatrack one way for like 2 years. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm finally ready to explore resampling. And then I did. And now that's something else that I'm kind of working on. I used it a certain way for a long time before I finally bothered to learn what parts are. Wish I had done that sooner, admittedly, so maybe not the best example. But it's a machine that can keep you satisfied and entertained for years before you even ask it, what else can you do? And you can keep coming back and asking it, what else do you do? And, for years at a time, you can use it like a looper, but then maybe you come back and you want to use it like a drum machine, and you can learn this whole new workflow, all these new tricks. It's really kind of unparalleled in the gear that I've experienced in its ability to just constantly give you more stuff to play with, even though it seems like a machine with a lot of limitations. And it does have a lot of limitations. That's the funny thing, is that it does have a lot of limitations, but what you can do within those constraints, what you can do within that sort of sandbox, it's like Grand Theft Auto, It's really just a box that you drive around in and unceremoniously murder people. The Octatrack is kind of like that. It's really entertaining, really fun, and if you do it too much with your friends around and you don't let them have a turn, they're gonna be mad at you. So for that reason, really above all of them, is why I think the Octatrack is like a desert island device for me. If I had to get rid of everything else in my studio, which to be fair, isn't that much these days, I would keep the Octatrack, no questions asked. I would get rid of my audio interface before I get rid of the Octatrack. I would find some new way to record these videos. The Octatrack and a pair of headphones would be all I'd need for a lifetime of musical satisfaction. The fact that you can explore these really weird, esoteric qualities, but also come back to what for me is like a warm blanket of easy joy and smiles is, I think, the most you could ask for out of a piece of gear. And so that's why I'm so passionate about the Octatrack. It's why I started this YouTube channel. It's why I do lessons with people. It's why I try to get people to love this device. It's why I proselytize. It's never been for a profit motive. Now it is a little bit. Affiliate link down below. Give me your money. It's always been to spread the joy that this Vice? Hello. that this device has given me. And so I hope that these reasons have sparked something in you. I hope that you'll want to go get an Octatrack. It doesn't have to be from that dumb affiliate link. It can be from a friend. It can be, go try it at your local music store. Whatever, man. What I want for you, more than anything, is to experience the joy that I have felt in years of using the Octatrack. Is the Octatrack a perfect device? God, no. And next week, I'm going to do a video about 8 reasons why maybe it's not for you. And you can maybe wait on bated breath if you're unsure. And then, I just did a kind of Donald Trump thing with my hands there. Wait on bated breath. Then you can make your fully educated decision and decide whether or not this is for you. But until then, that's all I got for you today. I want to thank you so much for watching, because you could have sat down with anybody on the internet today, but instead you sat down with me, a man out of breath in an ill-fitting t-shirt, huffing his way through a video to try to explain why I love a weird little rectangle so much. And I think that's freaking awesome. I'll be back next week with that 8 reasons maybe the Octatrack isn't for you. And I hope you'll be there, and I hope you'll watch it, and I hope you'll love it. One quick time before I go, Ellipsis, link down to the bottom. Sims Foundation, link down to the bottom. If you want to buy some stuff from Perfect Circuit, affiliate link down there. Thanks to them for this. Really appreciate that. And other than that, I'm Daniel. This is the Messy Desk, and I love you more than I love getting to rant fairly aimlessly about a device I love more than anything in the whole wide world, except my wife and kids and family and all that reasonable stuff. Anyway, I'll see you next week. Peace.